Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So for today's video, I just want to talk about an internal struggle that I always have every Monday morning. So every single Monday, I kind of have the same back and forth within me. And today I was like, I'm probably not going to make a video just because I'm feeling a bit negative. But instead, I asked my guides, I'm like, we need to switch this. And so they're like, switch up your routine. Normally you do this, then you go here. They're like, go here, do this, then this. Like, just switch it up, create change. And so today, feeling a bit heavy. We went to the dog park instead. The very first thing we went. And as I went to the dog park, which is my favorite place on earth, because just seeing like happy dogs just run around, like nothing makes my heart happier than seeing Cooper in his element and getting along with others. And that was exactly what I needed to see and share and experience. Because I find that every single Sunday, right? Sunday is usually a very religious day, but I find that a lot of religious people on Sunday love to come into my energy. They love to scrutinize and point and talk and send that judgmental energy my way. I don't know if they know that I pick up on it ever, but I do. And every single Sunday, it does hurt my feelings, but I let it go because I know that that's your day. And I wouldn't want to come in and, mess up your day. And so every Monday, it's almost like being attacked every single Sunday for being who I am. And I've been this way my whole life, and I'm going to continue to be this way after. Because the biggest blessing is how I grew up, and nothing can change that foundation. So for those that don't know, I grew up in a extremely ridiculously small town. Half of it was very judgmental religious people, and then the other half were alcoholics. And then there were some people who played both of those sides. And so, I never fit into either group. I tried, but it was never meant for me. It only caused more turmoil within myself because there was always that calling to go do my purpose, to grow and expand. And at the core of a lot of those times, it was lacking the love. And I went off on my journey. You meet the hippie friends. I didn't even fit into that community. I'm like, this is weird. Like, no. They're like, oh, you'll fit in. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't fit into anything religious. I don't fit into anything hippie-ish. I just never felt like I fit into a group. And so I tried all my life just to be a part of the group. But you're meant to be yourself. And so biggest blessing for me growing up is being alone, by not being truly accepted into every group. I mean, I could fit into a lot of groups, but it would cause me to have to pretend to be normal. And I'm not normal. I've never been normal. I've been extraordinary my whole life. I've been heart and love. But every single okay, here's the thing. I've hidden myself, right? So I'm like, okay, so these people are very disturbed with what I do. I think people always knew that when I dealt with cards and things like that, but to them, it's like working with the devil. So I was told from grade 6, I don't know how old you are in grade 6, But my first experience with, having religious people poo-pooing on your happy times was grade 6. They said that because I worship the devil, um, I had a part in my grandpa passing away. What elementary school student ever needs to have that burden on their soul? And I have to find, I understand where this man came from when he said it, because, eventually as I got older, truth was shed on his situation, and he probably was repenting because, past choices of groups and affiliations that they chose to be part of, I would probably turn to the highest the high too. But what I don't get when it comes to being part of groups is thinking that only you are okay, that you're right, right? I see a circle in my hands, but it's a box. It's saying in our box, we're better than everyone else. Because I'm political and I believe this, I'm better than anyone else. Because I'm this color of race, I'm better than anyone else. None of those situations are okay. Because if you truly were connecting to the highest of high, it would be love. It would be about overcoming diversity and challenges and seeing other people and accepting them for them and not trying to crush them and force them into your box. One question I ask a lot is when they took the slaves from Africa, why, why are they so religious in the beliefs? Like in Africa, they have their own gods that they worshipped, because all the gods from every religion type thing is based off of how the land and the elements and the nature is everything. There is no, different topic, different time. There is, right? And then so when they came to the North America, and we forced our beliefs on them, I was always like, why were they so willing to take that on as fact, as, because I have two questions. Why did they take that and believe it? Well, a lot of the time in religion, it's like, if you take the brunt, if you keep taking the force, if you don't, your soul will be free in the next life. Salvation will take everything from you. And so that's why they allowed for really crummy things to happen to them. Slavery is never okay in any situation. I don't care how it started, but if it ends in that, hell no. You need to go back to the beginning and find a different way. Because how did they learn the religion? Well, it was their masters. It was those who were enslaving them, like whipping them, not feeding them and clothing them properly, putting them through the worst conditions. Well, they were the religious people. And how could that religion say it's okay for you to treat someone ever like that? I'm scouring everywhere. I'm like, where is the positive in that? Where would that situation be okay? And I don't see it, and I don't feel it, and I don't nothing it. And so, yeah, there is a lot of that. What I've been blessed is because, my dad did grow up very religious, and those nuns beat him, and he was like, why would I follow something where they think that beating me is okay? And so he was like, I'm not going to push anything on my kids. My kids are free to grow and become whoever they are meant to become, which is the biggest blessing of my life, because I I absolutely love learning everybody's culture. I love learning everybody's religion. I love learning your problems. Tell me your story. What did you learn from it? How did you get from here to here? It is an adventure. It's called the hero's journey. Oh, we have a robin here. Um, yeah. And so I did watch, right? Lately I've been watching a lot of videos on different views than my own. I've been watching a rabbi and I've really enjoyed his teachings. I also watched a video on an ex-psychic who left the community and now she's only of like God and Jesus. And so she's written like 4 or 5 books. And so I listened to her podcast, tried to, with an open mind. It was open, it was. I was like, but a lot of the things that she said, I didn't get. It doesn't resonate, but I understand her journey and how she got there. Am I to point at her and be like, you're wrong? No, because that's her journey and how she got there. And so one part of it, she said everything that new age spiritual people do is worshiping the devil. Okay, well, I've heard that since I was in grade 6. What I didn't understand is all these people who say that what I do is evil. Let's go to when I was a little girl. When I was a little girl, I could telepathically communicate with the animals. And so every single day that I got home from lunch, I got in trouble. My mom would be like, you're late, now you gotta turn around and go. But I had to talk to every single animal along the way because, they were always so excited when someone could actually hear them, right? Everyone sees them and then they're like, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. But when someone can actually telepathically talk to them and hear them, they would get really excited. So I always gave time to them. Yeah, special moments. And so all the time, even as a kid, grade 1, there was a coloring contest. And so coloring contests are no different than these cards. And so I would put everybody's picture out. Grade 1, I had this emotional intelligence and I would feel the people's pictures. I didn't base it on who was the best. Why? Because they already had their egos pumped up all the time. They won every single week. But I spent, everyone would go out and pick their favorite. I spent half an hour. They're probably like, what is she doing? But I felt everyone's picture. And I was like, who needs to feel good about themselves? Who's going through a tough time that just needs that pat on the back of like, good job? Like, here's just a little bit of encouragement, which is all that these cards are to me. I'm feeling energies of pictures. And I do say you do need to discern extremely well who you are connecting to. And so on this ex-psychic, she, in her thing, she was crapping on every other religion rather than, I don't even know what she was, Christianity, Catholic, or something. But in it, she was really against the Hindus. Why? Because those are false gods. And yoga and meditation. She was like, that's devil work. And then, right, I'm not gonna jump in and be like, this girl, blah, 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 because that's her path. That's what she came to. But mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul, like moving your body, you do need to take care of yourself. You do need to take care of, your thoughts and your emotions and work on the soul stuff. A lot of people think that you can't connect to what these high up religious people, like only they can have access to it. And that's just not the case. I do think you need to check yourself, right? Some point she made in the spiritual community, I totally agreed with. You need to check who's in the group. Like I said, try to go into like the more the hippie environment, but you know, polyamory and all that kind of stuff didn't make sense to me. And the things that they were doing didn't make sense. It didn't resonate. But it's not for me to be like, this is it. Just take yourself and go to where you're meant to be, right? Shine your light. And so when I started bringing in my own tribe, I find has been a lot of people who have been on their own. They've had to go through and come up with their own thoughts, their own experiences. It's the loners and the outsiders. Those are always who I connect the most with. And the thing with them is that they embody everything. So it's like you really could go into each group, but at the end of it, you're yourself. Okay. So when I did join a spiritual community after I left my first long time boyfriend, I was like, I can't go back to how I was. Like, I need to grow in a new way. And so I found this place. And, there was a teacher, and mostly everyone in that group had Archangel Michael as a guide. and it's so interesting because growing up, we'll get to that. Growing up, I didn't connect to Mother Mary or Jesus or those energies that I knew. They were always there. They always were supporting. But because the people who I tended to associate with them were so judgmental and mean, I was like, I don't really want anything to do with that. I don't like how that group makes me feel. I've only ever been physically attacked, beaten up in my life, and that was by a pastor's wife. And that, to this day, I have some trauma and some healing to go through. Because, yes, demons and darkness are real, and she was possessed as she was attacking me. Can't make this up, guys. And so as I went to the spiritual community, I saw red flags everywhere too, right? Everyone worked, as I said, worked with Archangel Michael, and they would give out messages. And every time my teacher would give a message from Archangel Michael, I remember feeling like it was like a knife. It was never empowering or encouraging. If anything, it made me not want to work with him, because I was like, this energy, all it ever does is tear me down and make me feel bad about myself. But the funny thing is now that I work with Archangel Michael, I see that was them projecting. It was never him. He's like, yeah, why would I do that? He is tough, he is like sword energy, but every message that she kind of gave me is just a stepping stone to let that go, for you to finally go in and you connect, right? Rather than having someone else connect to Archangel Michael and tell me how awful my life is and how I don't even know how to think properly, I connected to him, and it's not the same story. Also, when I was kind of training, and this is the thing, there is a lot of people who jump in and don't use the discernment. And my example for that is, there was a girl I met who had just learned Reiki. I'm not poo-pooing on Reiki, but what I thought was a red flag was from just learning Reiki, right? You might be natural channeler. You can work through energies and these things. But how in 3 months can you go from getting your first attunement to being a master in 3 months? Sometimes you need lifetime after lifetime to master a soul lesson or a lesson. And, in science, they say 10,000 hours to master something. You want to be a master piano player? You got to practice. After 10,000 hours, it will finally be like muscle memory. You'll be a master. But another thing, people, and this is where you really have to question things, because those who are the prophets, the high priestesses, the whatever, they're not out there calling themselves that. They're living a very humble, simple life. And then on the other end, those who aren't quite qualified for that are out there like, come to me, I got all the answers, and they want you to be dependent on them. So I see how the religious people can be like, yo, like, that's you starting to think that you're the highest the high, where you can go out and condemn and judge. But in also doing so, I see both of them clashing. But what my guides really want to share is you have to, they're saying to leave both of those communities and groups, but also blend both of those communities and groups. And so it is for you to have your own counsel and discernment into knowing, is this person trying to manipulate me and keep me lower than I'm meant to be? Or are they have the best interest for me and whatever? And even those who hold space for you and love you and give you that message, and here's the thing, they'll never tell you what to do. A true reader, or connected to the highest the high, they won't, they know, especially when you know about the Norns and fate, nothing is set in stone. Nothing. Fate can change all the time. I'm getting mad goosebumps up my back. And I think that's why my guides are like, you create, you do. You are master creators. You are the magician, the alchemist, the whatever. But whatever you are inside is what you create outside of yourself. And so I'm thinking of another person who is high in the spiritual community. Oh, frick, that's funny. So I wanted to use my Mary, Queen of Angels cards, because as I mentioned, I didn't let Mother Mary into my energy, because everyone growing up who was super religious, they judged me so hard, and I don't know, but the author of these cards is Doreen Virtue. She was like the leader of like paving the way for a lot of cards and stuff. And then one day, I don't know what happened to her at her sanctuary, but she must have been connecting to a false energy that was masking or pretending to be higher than high, right? And so now she's only religious, only Jesus. Like, her whole purpose now is to bring all of this down. And who am I to poo-poo on her journey, right? But I'm thankful for the little bits that I learned from her. I'm thankful to learn from her journey and the way she went. I honor that choice. And I know where my journey is meant to go. Because everything that I learned, right? Because you dim yourself down, you get down, and then you have to unlearn everything. So everything that I know now as my abilities and things, I naturally already had it as a kid. And you know what? I don't care what you say, but kids are the purest, most divine souls out there. They've been a soul more than they've been a human. They haven't been tainted by the way this world works with religion, race, cultures, countries, whatever. They just are. And so everything that I had to go back, the more and more I took things away, the more and more my abilities developed. More and more I became who I was as a little girl. She's back. The inner child has been nurtured. She's so excited to be here. And because she was so much love. And I'm excited to bring that love forward again because for some reason, right, I had to hide that. And she didn't like being hidden because she just wanted to be a part of the group and be accepted and loved and bring two groups together and show them. You can't make the heart symbol without two hands. So we're gonna work with Mother Mary cards. You know, this video is already getting quite long, but like I say, I deal with this every Monday because every Sunday I feel religious people going into my energy. And I'm like, you know, I'm not going to clap back because this is your day. And if I clap back and, you know, I don't want to wreck your day. So just bringing the energy in more. She's showing me, she's like, you can call on me, right? As she came in, she just wrapped me in blue energy and hugged me. She's behind like that. And then she just showed me mother energy. And she's like, you know, everyone holds me up on this pedestal, but there are so many divine mothers out there, and every single one of us comes with the same energy. They're the same heart. And it's the feeling and the emotion. It doesn't matter who you get it from, that there are different divine goddesses who hold the same energy. You call them a different name, but they will come to you no matter what you call it, because love is love is love. That's what she shared first. Okay. So the first card, sorry, let's get comfortable here. Okay, so the first card that came up is honesty. It says, I am in touch with my true feelings regarding the situation. Which I love that I just got that message as she wrapped it around, because she said it doesn't matter who, right? The truth of it is it's all the same energy. And so there are so many divine motherly beings out there who are holding space. So it doesn't matter where in the world you are, right? Because I keep seeing, like, what if somebody in the most jungle, back forest, never heard of God or Jesus or something? Like, so what? Because they never knew it to worship it, do they get condemned? Because no missionaries ever came and tried to change their lives? And they're like, no, because they have their version of what that is, and it's the same. Call me whatever you want. I will come to you in whatever form that is. But the way I come to you is the same energy. And they're showing me past lives now. And they're like, have you ever met someone you never met in this lifetime, but you did in the past? And your soul recognizes them. It's the same. Have you ever just had someone, you hear their voice, you see them, they touch you, something happens, and it's like just deja vu ripples or something? That's because that soul still feels the same. You felt that feeling before, you know that feeling. So the next one we have is open your heart. I allow myself to feel the full range of emotions, especially all the forms of love. She's saying, She's just actually, oh, thank you. She just said, I'm really sorry that these people came to you and told you that you weren't good enough to be worthy of this. That the only way that you could be accepting of this love is if you followed the group. She's showing the baby. She said, we loved you no matter what you thought or believed, because you were this pure soul that goes out into the world. Right? You know what love is. It says, I allow myself to feel the full range of emotions, especially all forms of love. If that's what you are, I don't care what religion or what belief, what race or country, anything. If you're going out there with love, that's all you have to do. You just have to go out there and be a good person. You need to shine your light, and whoever gets mad about you doing it, that's their fault. That's their problem, not their fault. That's their projection. That's their inner fears that they need to work on. They're saying, Cooper, do you want to hop up? They're saying, we would never force you to go to a situation that would make you take your love and diminish it so that you could fit in and be accepted. No, go back to how you were as a child. That's how we loved you. That's how we created you. That is you in your purest, truest form. That is you when you are full love. So there is a bit of inner child work that does need to be done. If you're not feeling like you can be yourself, shine your light, you know? And so Cooper, now that he's here, come on, show everyone your cute face. This is my friend Coopy Doo. Hi, Coopy Doo. I love you. So Cooper's the one who helped me learn about the lesson today. And so we are going to share a picture on the community board that helped me with this insight, right? The next card that comes up is marriage. I made a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. Woo! Sorry, guys. Something just sideswiped me. Let's see what this is. They're saying we don't care how you honor us, right? I made a commitment to a healthy relationship with God. I don't care what you call it. Source, God, highest to high. It's an intention. It's knowing that love, and it's you honoring that. You can go to church, you can do whatever, or you can just stay home on Sundays and read a book. Doesn't matter. But as long as you make practice every day to connect, you're going to be guided. So I made a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. So there are two cards behind it. We have truth and we have Father. It says, I am loving, honest with myself and others. My true Father is God in heaven, who shines healing light upon me, my birth father, and our relationship. That's something that was a blessing to me is, my dad is an atheist because of the things he went through. But just because he doesn't go and he allowed me to believe what I wanted, I got to connect to this. I got this divine connection without ever having to, no, they're just showing me that it actually grew and flourished more because my teacher was Source. I didn't have someone in the middle kind of misinterpreting some things for me. They keep showing me groups of 3. And they're saying that's the problem with the partnership. I made a commitment to a healthy partnership with God, myself, and my partner. And so I see three younger group and then a group of 3 older people. And they're just saying, like, you first need to connect to source, because these third parties are trying to, they've got scrolls. They're trying to change the outcome of something. They're trying to rewrite the ending. And it's like, no, like, you need to stay in your lane. You write your own book, but you can't write another person's book. Yeah. The next card that comes out is devotion. It says, I am fully committed to my values, relationships, and God. I am clear about what to do next, and in it is health. My prayers for healing miracles have been heard and answered. They're showing me, this is for someone who is fighting the back and forth. So I'm actually picking up on someone who might be religious, and they're now starting to go into this kind of, they're feeling drawn to this. And so it feels wrong to them. And it's that back and forth and that indecision and that tearing apart that kind of, it is creating some health problems for someone I'm picking up on. And they're saying, this is also, this is a specific message for someone, but this is for someone who's trying to get pregnant. It is because you are torn between the 2 beliefs that it's not quite a stable, open environment yet. And that's why the baby, the soul, is having a hard time coming in. They're saying, you're there and then you kind of go back and then you're there. And it's just that they need this trust. You need to have this trust belief in yourself. So if you really trust your connection to source, you connect to source, hold this firm foundation for you, because now that you are in your power, that's when, oh my gosh, look at all the babies on this card. They're little angels and cherubs, but this is the one, they're showing me the baby. This one has a baby on it. This one has a baby on it. Okay, so this may not be for everyone, right? So if you have been having a tough time getting pregnant and you are going to the doctors and they can't quite figure out what's wrong, they are showing me it's this. And when the baby does come, because I do see a baby coming for someone, when the baby does come, it's like they need this open, loving environment so that they could be encouraged, because they hold a higher frequency. And so they really need you to trust yourself, to, whatever it is, that back and forth, that's the thing that is, it's causing fractures. It's wearing things out. But they're saying, take one step forward and stand in your belief, stand in your power, stand in your light. That's what they're saying. Woo! Guys, I got so many goosebumps from this. And you know what? That is one of my gifts. And that's one of the things that always I struggled with, is I always knew when babies were going to come, and then I knew when people were going to pass away. And it was the passing away that I always was like, well, maybe I am attached to something that is wrong. But no, Spirit gives me those messages to share to those who are taking advantage of the 3D, those who think, oh, this is owed to me, oh, this will be there. And it's like, no, like every day you wake up is sacred and precious. And so for some who aren't, utilizing those around and showing them the love now, you might not get tomorrow. And so that's why Spirit tells me to tell certain people to take time now, because if you reach out and you connect to them, that's when the healing will happen, rather than you losing an opportunity and living in shame, guilt, and regret. Those are so much harder to heal back from. But I am seeing one of my readers, who has been trying so hard to have a baby. It's your indecision. It's your lack. It's not a lack of belief. You do believe. It's that thinking that you're, I'm hearing worthy or deserving or whatever to connect to source. You are. Because if you go with your heart, right? You know it's true that everything comes from your heart. And whatever your heart is asking for, it's an honest request. It's not something so malicious that, you're gonna have to like beg for mercy from the Lord above. Like, no, this is kind of the energy that is stalling actually the baby from coming, because the baby wants to come into this environment where it's encouraged that no matter where it goes, who it meets, it should not be scared of people and different interactions and beliefs and things like that. Oh, that's a beautiful message. That's so nice. Again, not everybody's going to have a baby, but this is coming through. A lot of it, okay, so Mother Mary's saying a lot of it is you do have to okay, they took, and what did that mean? To the left. A little bit, okay, so they're showing me inner child healing, right? So if you're not having a baby, you don't ever plan on having any more babies, you're not in the process of trying to conceive and having like all these problems and health issues. The rest of the message for everyone is to go back. And because we are dealing with Mother Mary, they are saying to find compassion and forgiveness for your mom, right? Because she's learning where you are. You're probably at the age where your mom was when you were like, she should know everything. And now you're here and you're like, I don't know anything. It's to not hold your mom, as this card said. My true father is God in heaven, who shines healing light upon me, my birth father, and our relationship. But they're telling me to go to the mother. Because, yeah, to not hold your mom, that she should have been like this Mother Mary energy, right? She was learning and she was doing things. And so there is a bit of healing when it comes to the mother and father, they're telling me. But she's showing me as herself. She's like, your mom is not me and I am not your mom. And in that, understanding is where a little bit of healing can come from, because you will understand in that moment that they were doing the best they could, but then you also had divine protection from Mother Mary as you were going through all of this. Even though you didn't think it or feel it or know it, it was in a different way than you knew. Same with the Father. And so one last message, right? They're saying, go back to as you were a child, as you were your purest form, as you were love. They're telling me to go find the love card. Which one was that? I allow myself to feel the full range of emotions, especially all forms of love. They're telling me the all forms of love is what the inner child needs to know. That the adult needs to understand that inner child already knew. And so, Spirit, we're going to say one more card to wrap it up. And they're just saying, just trust. I know that God, in his infinite wisdom and love, is answering all my prayers right now. And they're showing me both sides. So this could be mother's side, father's side. This could be religious people, and this could be cultural differences. They're just showing me two things, two things that just don't blend normally. And it's saying all prayers are answered right now. So whatever these people are looking for, these people have the answer. What these people are looking for, these people have the answer. And it's the fact that all these people are judging and scared of the other that is the true problem. It's once the world actually blends and we do see, now it's making sense, all forms of love, right? Everyone just wants to be loved, heard, and accepted for who they are. And there is a place where every single energy can fit, right? What you know, I don't know. What I know, you don't know. So we do need to come together. We do need to interact. No man is an island. And I was just saying, like, because I talked, I'm like, well, I felt lonely my whole life. I've always kind of never been part of a group. And they're like, yeah, and that was for you to figure out who you are, to build your foundation, but you always need to come back. You always need to come back to the group. It's all about the blending and the sharing and the merging. And when that happens, when two people finally blend and share, and like that's where the peace and the forgiveness comes from. That's where I'm finding whoever is trying to get pregnant, it's that blending of beliefs finally settling. That's when the baby will come. So we're going to leave it there, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.